well. I also see people privately for meditation coaching. There are people who come to say, well, yeah, I want to explore this. For sure. That's also legitimate because, I mean, let's face it, that's how I got into it. That's probably how you got into it, curiosity and so on. But I really feel more at home when somebody has a burning question, a burning issue, something that really hurts, or some discomfort that they want to get rid of, or whatever. Motivation is very strong.
So you've seen lots of people heal through these things?
Oh yeah, I don't know. In 20 years, I don't know how many thousands of people have gone through here, and I've learned from them, perhaps as much as they've learned from me. When somebody opens up and tells you what's really in their heart, I don't care how smart you are, how wise you are, but you can't fail to be touched by it,
Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about your book here before we run out of time? It's the Buddha's Book of Meditation, and it's Mindfulness Practices for a Quieter Mind, Self-Awareness, and Healthy Living. And I like the way you've laid this out. Do you want to describe to some people out there how your book is laid out and you have different chapters and meditations that go along with music and
how important is diet, say, to mindfulness? I suppose putting the right foods into your body and things like that sort of go hand in hand.
Well, I think that's in the book as well. Like if you go to a Buddhist retreat center, you won't eat fried foods and you won't drink sugary drinks because those foods are not conducive to having a healthy brain. Like when your body is unhealthy, you look in the mirror and you see your pouch and whatever. But when your brain is unhealthy, you look in the mirror and you don't see it. It's it's hidden. So it's really important for a diet goes to be in touch with how you feel after you eat something. How do you feel a short while after? Let that be a guide. Yeah, in this book, there are a number of chapters, I don't know how many, 17, 18, something like that. And each chapter zeroes in on a different aspect of meditation. The basic practices are very simple. Getting in touch with your breath, not identifying with your thoughts, being in the moment, being present, and so on. Basic practices are relatively simple, but applying them, for example, you mentioned diet, applying them to that, applying it to relationships, applying it to your work life, to family, whatever, that is the real issue. So long as your wisdom remains on the shelf, it's not much use to you. And so in this book, each chapter deals with a different aspect of life and how to bring mindfulness into that area. And yeah.
What do you think, Darren?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah?
I like it. Can you maybe, for our listeners, before we wrap it up, give a quick synopsis of, like, say someone like myself who's never meditated really. I tried to do that object one the other day for a few minutes, but then I got bored.
Single-pointed focus or something, that would probably be called. I don't know.
Yeah, the one where you just try and imagine the object.
Yeah.
But I got distracted a couple of minutes in. But what's, say, to wake up tomorrow and start to be more mindful? What's tomorrow look like for someone who's never done anything really down this path before? Well, mushrooms, do those count?
Yeah. Well, My best suggestion to you would be to go to my website, which is Mindfulness Meditation Center, one word, Mindfulness Meditation Center, center spelled the Canadian way, TRE.org. Click on books, and then click on Buddha's Book of Meditation, the book you have in your hand. And there you have 12 practice songs and 3 guided meditations that you can listen to or download to your iPod or whatever. And tomorrow morning, you can listen to one of the practice songs, or you can meditate with one of the 3 guided meditations. They're freely available. They go with a book. Of course, you would get further ahead if you read the chapter about it in the book, but the practices are good by themselves as well. I start with guided meditations because it is not always productive to leave someone and to say, okay, sit down and meditate. It doesn't always work. So after you go through a number of guided meditation exercises, then when you sit down by yourself, you might remember some of the instructions. And so it puts you on the right track, for sure.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Kind of like training wheels.
Yeah, it is. So speaking of that, staying on that vein, what is your advice to people that just say that, oh, they can't meditate? Like, they think that it's all about being able to completely quiet your mind. Because I meet people like this all the time where they say right off their bat, their thing is they can't do it and because they're no good at it, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, at the beginning of the show, I think you said something like that, which was right on. I felt, you get caught up with thoughts and you follow your thoughts and you get lost in them. And when you first begin the practice, you might get lost in your thoughts for 5 minutes before you say, hey, I'm supposed to be meditating, and come back to your body and to your breath. Yeah. And you said that after a while, practicing after a while, you do it faster. Instead of after 5 minutes, you do it maybe after 5 seconds, and then eventually maybe after 1 or 2 seconds. So coming back, finding yourself in your thoughts and coming back is part of the practice. As you say, what is not part of the practice is staying there, following your thoughts and getting lost in your thought. So when some people say they don't meditate well, I just want to tell them that it's okay. It's okay. This is not about perfection. We all have these huge brains, and thoughts are like very alluring, and they sort of say, "Come, and follow me." And but the sooner we realize we're doing that and come back to our breath and to our body, the better it is. And this only happens as you practice. And this is part of the practice. So it doesn't mean you're a bad meditator. It just means that you're on your way.
Huh, that's good advice. You catch that, Darren?
I'm a bad meditator. That's all I took away from that.
That's why they call it the monkey mind, and everybody's got one. So that's good. Is there anything else you want to mention before we start wrapping it up?
Yeah, the monkey mind. The monkey mind. The poor monkeys. Well, you see, this is the first stage when you consider the monkey mind as a distraction, as background noise, like the radio in the background as you're trying to do something. The second stage is paying attention to the monkey mind and trying to figure out which one of the 264 species of monkeys this one is, But that only happens after the first stage, when you quiet the monkey a little bit, then you listen. That is becoming intimate with yourself. That is becoming friends with yourself, really knowing yourself, self-knowledge, self-understanding. And that is what is so precious about meditation. This American lady, Julia Cameron, who's written a lot of books about creativity and meditation, I love the title of one of her books. It's called Finding Water. Refers to the tree's roots reaching down and finding water, finding what is fresh, what is nourishing. And it's all part of meditation.
So what's the third stage then? The second stage is kind of choosing and making friends with the monkey mind. And what would be the third stage then?
The third stage is very, very special and very specific to Thich Nhat Hanh's teaching. He calls it transformation. It is what we were talking about a little while ago, changing your default setting. Like you have a computer in front of you, you can change your default browser. Do we have less control over our minds than over our computers? We can change our default state of mind with mindfulness practice. And this for me is the heart of the matter, to fill your heart. You are the gardener. There's a garden in your heart. And you're the gardener. You're the garden as well as the gardener. And you can't blame anyone else for whether it's poison ivy that's growing in your heart or lilies and irises and dahlias and roses. And this is transformation. You change the drift of your natural, spontaneous thoughts with practice.
I love it because you're really talking about what the science is starting to prove now with the brain and how liquid and how what's the word I'm looking for? Plasticity, like the plasticity of the brain and rewiring your neural and rewiring your pathways and all. That's basically what you're talking about. Like that the Buddha's been doing this for thousands of years.
Yes. I never quite thought of it in those terms, but I think you're right on. Yes.
Yeah, I love that part where these two, the old Eastern traditions and the new science is coming together, especially the neuroscience, because the brain is proven to be quite a crazy thing, and they're starting to learn so much about what's causing it to fire and how it fires in the way it does, and
quantum physics is really rocking the boat too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that should about do it. I know it's getting late over there on the cold side of the country.
Yeah, it's how did it get to be 11 o'clock already here?
Yeah, do you want, we don't have to go. If you have more you want to share with us.
Yeah. I would like to say that I learn about these things, and the songs for me are a big part of my personal practice, because a song stays in your ear like an earworm. You know how people go out of the movies like whistling the love tune, whatever. And when there is words attached to that earworm, the words also go in your mind. A mantra mimics concentration. And concentration is the weakest part of a beginner, the weakest skill they have. And what I love about mindfulness songs and mindfulness mantras is this ability of the tune to run in your mind and mimic concentration. And they form a big part of this book, Buddha's Book of Meditation. And they're all available on the website mindfulnessmeditationcenter.org by clicking on books and then clicking off Buddha's Book of Meditation. They're available for free download with or without the book now. Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll try one out this weekend.
Yeah, that's good. It's so funny.
I feel like, is meditating like mushrooms? I should like clear my schedule.